wrestling card collectors, welcome to another edition of WTCtv. And today I have Matt from, is it 3 Count Cards? 3
Yes,
Count
sir.
Cards, right?
Yeah,
How you doing tonight, sir?
pretty good, man. How about you?
Just living it up here in warm Arizona. Where are you at?
Winnipeg, Manitoba, where it's not warm.
Not warm. And as we were just talking a little bit before, like direct center of Canada.
Yeah, like smack in the middle, like literally the middle of Canada. Yeah.
Is it a good? It's probably a good wrestling community up there, right? Like
It's
fan-wise?
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Jericho's from here, Kenny Omega from here. Like it's just and Don Callis and it's awesome here. The indie scene is amazing. It's it's a great place to be for it.
And so being that, I guess are you from there originally?
No, I'm from Montreal.
Oh, okay, so you're still Canadian based.
Oh yeah. From Montreal. I moved here. Mother, sister, they moved to New Jersey. So kind of all over the place.
All over the place. Yeah. Being up in that area, so I guess you probably grew up as a wrestling fan your whole life.
Oh, like that's being from here, Canada, everyone's a hockey fan, but my father made sure I was a wrestling fan first. We were a hockey household as well, but just like me, I still really like hockey, but I love wrestling. So it's just like,
are you a Jets fan or are you a Maple Leafs fan?
None. Montreal Canadians.
You're a Canadians fan.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Jets will come up there. Leafs never. As a Montreal fan, Leafs always got to be at the bottom with Boston. Yeah.
Let's not even go into hockey. I'm a long-time season ticket holder for hockey, but I'm mostly minor leagues, AHL affiliate stuff.
Oh, well, fair enough. Yeah,
I don't really have any favorites when it comes to NHL. I just kind of like watching the AHL stuff. Although I did go to a Coyotes game the other night for their home opener and got slaughtered by St. Louis. Nice. I think it was like 7-2 or something like that. Or no, 7-4.
The Coyotes are the old Winnipeg Jets. So
this is true. This is true. Yeah. So, they're not doing much better. On paper, we're supposed to be good, but we know how paper works.
No, it doesn't at all. It's just
let's just jump right into your business that you have right here, 3 Count Cards. Like I think you started following me on Twitter for WTC, and then I saw what you did, and I go, "There's a new guy in town now selling wrestling, specializing in wrestling cards." Yeah. Where did this desire come from? Like, what made you decide now to start selling wrestling cards?
It's something that I always, again, being from Canada, right? So I was a wrestling fan first, then a hockey fan. But growing up, in the 80s, 90s, it was hockey cards before everything else. So I've grown up, loving cards, kind of got out of it for a while and then kind of in and out. And, I started kind of picking up on wrestling cards a few years ago. I can't remember where I was. And I was just like, I've been an avid, like insane wrestling fan my whole life, and then never even thought to look for cards, but I'd kind of been out of the card thing for so long. And then
so you didn't know that wrestling cards existed until a few years ago?
This was like, we're talking almost 10 years ago, about 10. Yeah, no, like I'm 41 now. And like I said, like I collected up until 20 something, and then kind of got back in my early 30s. Mm-hmm. But that's what I mean. And so I knew they existed, but I didn't think they were just going to be so readily available. I thought it was harder to get. And I really started liking the products that were coming out. So along with my hockey stuff, I started dabbling more into wrestling, and I started realizing just as it is in real life, I'm enjoying the wrestling a lot more than I am with the hockey stuff, and
card wise or product wise or both.
Everything, like just because I still, as much as I know a lot about hockey, I will still always know more about wrestling. I still, if I miss watching games on TV, I don't really care. I can kind of check it out, but I don't mind checking my scores, on the phone. But I hate getting my wrestling recaps on the phone. Like I want to watch.
I want to watch it live.
Yeah. Well, because no, you're never going to see a surprise player jump out of the box and start playing hockey, right? You're never.
That's true.
And
that's true. You can catch all that stuff on Sports Center.
and I kind of enjoyed it as, for a long time, I kind of enjoyed it as just my own little thing, you know, no one else I knew was doing it. And it was kind of cool. It was my own little thing. And then I started realizing, like, man, I don't have anyone to trade with. I don't have anyone, you know, so I kind of started preaching the gospel to my friends. And, you know, I was just like, hey, like, you know, just like hockey cards, you know, wrestling has rookie cards, wrestling has autographs, wrestling has, you know, everything, all the exact same stuff, you know, wrestling has it. And this is way more fun to me, you know, and so that was kind of it. And then I was kind of sitting there and, you know, especially during this whole pandemic, this is going to sound like the most ridiculous thing, but since May of 2020, I work at Harley Davidson, and since May of 2020, I've been off. I had carpal tunnel, but because of the pandemic, my surgery kept getting bumped, and so I'm sitting there, and you know, I'm on disability, and I'm just like, I'm getting a free, you know, a vacation right now, but I'm also in a world of hurt. I don't know what to do, you know, and a few months later, I went and had myself a heart attack while I was already on disability.
What?
Yeah.
Is that stress related?
No, it's, you know, 2 packs a day and McDonald's all the time related. And yeah, who knew? Like, all those people for 20 some odd years, they were right.
Oh, who knew they would be right? Yeah. Who knew that science
not
actually works?
Yeah.
Who knew?
So I've been sitting around, and it wasn't major, you know, I didn't have to get cracked open or anything like that, but and then my surgery on my hand, you know, things kind of stretched, and I'm so used to being busy, because I also work at concerts at night. Like, so I am, you know, there's a lot of days where I'll work 16, 18 hours, and I'm not used to doing nothing. You know, and then when I'm on my days off, it's, you know, I'm riding the Harley, or I'm out, you know, where we live, it's like I'm out fishing, or I'm out hunting, or I'm out, you know, I'm always, and then suddenly I couldn't do anything. You know, I was just,
yeah, it sucks when you're so active, you're so used to being active, whether it be social stuff or working or whatever, and then all of a sudden come to a complete halt. It's like, you just don't know what to do with yourself.
No. And that was it. And at first it was kind of fun. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna, you know, as the person I am, I was like, I'm gonna go back and watch, you know, 40 years worth of wrestling. And then finally it's like, you know what, there is a point where there's only so much wrestling and so much Netflix that you can do before you're just like, because now I'm like, I've done all the pay-per-views I've loved, the matches I've loved. Now I've done some of the, like, you know, hidden gems. And then suddenly I'm like, no, I'm really dabbling in the stuff that I really don't give a crap about, you know, and kind of started, you know, what do I want to do with myself? And so I started saying, you know, I have so many cards, you know, I'm going to start organizing. And it was everything, you know, I'm going to organize some hockey. And I love my garbage pail kids.
GPK, man. It's good stuff.
Yeah, love them, you know, and again, it's like a childhood thing, right? So
it's nostalgia. That's what it is.
Yeah, which is a lot of my collecting too. And I think a lot of us as adults, it's almost telling, like, you know, younger us to suck it, because every time it's like, number one, you know, so now, you know, what a box of cards, like a whole hobby box is, you know, how much you realize that. And like, my parents made it seem like it's like you'd have to take out a second mortgage, and, you know, and now it's almost like, you know, even in my 40s, I'm still trying to catch up with things that I always wanted, or always, you know, I always got the cheap cards. It was always Pro Set, the 99 cent.
Oh God, I think they're still printing those.
Oh, and yeah, and it's just like, we never got Upper Deck, you know, we didn't have Upper Deck money, or so it's like, you know, I started deciding I'm going to really organize stuff. And as I was going, I was just like, I have so much crap, you know, and it started going with, you know, I have my personal collection, but like I hang on to so much stuff for.
I was going to ask you about that. It was one of my questions about when you're starting. You're new to the business now as far as selling wrestling cards. This is less than a year old. How do you obviously have a personal collection, so you have a PC stuff. How do you determine what's your PC and what you want to sell? Is that difficult for you?
Yes and no. Sometimes there's a dividing line, because when it comes to my personal wrestling preferences, I know a lot of them aren't my preference. A lot of the stuff that's close to me isn't the popular, you know, so it's.
So what's your PC?
Me, I love like old Japanese stuff, or but I'm talking like, the beginnings of like Terry Funk and,
sure.
Just that type of stuff. So I love that 80s, 90s, Japanese stuff. I love the hardcore deathmatch stuff, always have. So I'm a big, GCW fan, so I started looking through my stuff and there's that stuff, but there's still, because I grew up with WWF, WWE, and WCW. So there are still like,
and ECW from the banner behind you.
ECW to me was, when you talk to the greatest promotions of all time, that's ECW. They broke down that fourth wall. They're bringing in the Japanese guys. They made, and even back then I was always excited for, Mania and the Rumble. And then when I started catching wind, because back then that's when we used to, trade tapes. And, I remember getting dubbed Japanese, and putting it in.
Oh,
so
yeah.
This is
I found some of these in stores just recently. So,
see, yes,
still factory
stuff?
sealed.
FMW factory sealed stuff. That is insane.
Yeah, I got.
That. But that's it. Like you look at like right there, like something like Hayabusa. Like I remember seeing like when I was younger, and you're just like, this is larger than life, And it was so much different back then. I always found that obviously I grew up with the Hogans and the Sheiks and the, so it was different back then. Like I remember you had the good guys, bad guys, right? When we were young, it wasn't face, heel, it was good guys, bad guys, and Hogan's
very, very comical and cartoonish in some sense.
But then you start catching like some of the Japanese stuff, and you're just like, wait, this is like, violence.
These
like,
guys are really beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah, like wrestling, it's like wrestling. It wasn't violence. It was, but not in the same. It's like these men are fighting, dukes up, and Japan, the Japanese stuff I was seeing. Like I remember, again, I'll never, in my Mount Rushmore, Mick Foley, like. When he still brought that to WWF and WWE, but seeing those disgusting barbed wire matches, something about it turned on this, bigger entertainment, and
became more real.
Yeah. So, I would get these tapes. And so, but there is still, like when it comes to, the, WWF or the big guys, like Eddie Guerrero is my biggest, like, if I can ever get my mitts on any of his like stuff, it's Eddie Guerrero. I love like Rey Mysterio. So again, like that connection, I loved the Mexican stuff. I still do, and it's that, but I still, people act like you got to pick and choose, right? But it's like, I'm still gonna,
kind of like where we are today now. It's like this world is so divided on everything. It's like it's either AEW or or WWE,
and that's it. So it's to me, it's like, what, I'm going to enjoy. Again, I don't know if you watched Lucha Underground when it was out. I thought
I used to live in SoCal, so like that. I book a lot of talent for the Wrestling Guy store from David Gomez, who owns that, and he used to work at the merchandise booth because his store was literally 3 blocks from the temple.
Right.
So everybody who was Lucha came to the store. Everybody.
Well, and to me, like I think Lucha was one of the most groundbreaking. Like it was, to me, it's still my favorite, like story wise and stuff. It was incredible. I miss it so much, and I know MLW were kind of trying to bring it back a bit, but I don't think it's working out. But yeah, so people act like that. So I treat those are my gritty, independent movies, but I still like to watch my Hollywood sometimes too.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's it. I'll watch
WWE. So your personal collection is fueled by that passion for some of the Japanese stuff, Lucha stuff, and you got your favorites. So when you're getting new product and you get some of those things, you pull those out and those go to your personal collection.
Yeah.
And now everything else has become your inventory now for sale.
Well, kind of. And at first it was just like, I felt like that Scrooge McDuck, like diving into his big vault of money. It's like, I have all these like tens of thousands and thousands. And for what? I don't look at them. I don't care. It was just me like being like a dragon sitting on the money. Like I have it, but for what? Like
for what?
Yeah. So I kind of started thinking to myself, I'm just having these to have these. And, I look at, my life, like, again, I ride Harley Davidsons. They ain't cheap. Like, music is my other side. I like my guitars, basses, drums. It's just like, I kind of, once you hit your 40s and it's just like, wait, I'm paying the mortgage, I'm doing this. And you start looking around and you're just like,
Do I really need this much stuff laying around?
And so I started, and again, with my record collection, it was like that. And I started kind of trying to develop a sense of, like, just keep what means something to me,
Sure.
Because I'd always say, like, everything's for sale. It doesn't matter. But just some is way up here. You want to pay, then that's cool. But, but then I started realizing, no, I do have sentimental attachment to certain things.
We all do. We have things like that. I mean, I always say that I'm not really married to anything, but if something wants to, pay a little bit for it, I'd be happy to part with it probably.
Oh, yeah. I say I don't think my dogs are part of that, but other than
that, no, I don't think mine either.
It was so it was just like that, and then I kind of started having fun with it. It was giving me something to do, and then on top of that, it was just like I started seeing people saying, like, holy shit, I didn't know this existed, and I was like, great, I felt weird more than 10 years ago discovering this, but now there's still people today, and it's just when you start realizing, like, yeah, hey, like, there's a lot more fun to be had than just and then just what's it called, like, just hockey, or like I say on the site, like the big four sports, right? Your hockey, baseball, basketball, football. Like us, that people look down on, or it's not a real sport, or this or that. Yeah. It's just, no, we can.
It's the whole point of creating this channel was to actually, during the pandemic, to create something that would hopefully see if people were interested in WTC coming back, because we took a long break there, and then also to find out if there's a market for this kind of thing. And it turns out there's very passionate people who are very much into wrestling trading cards, and we do get looked upon. I mean, the whole genre as itself, from top to bottom, from a product all the way down to the collectible side, and trading cards, gets kind of like, it's just it's wrestling cards. That fake stuff is not really fun, but there's some money to be made there.
Oh yeah, and that was the thing. It wasn't when I started this, it was kind of like, I almost looked at it as almost like a garage sale, in a sense, where it's just, let's clear out some stuff. And in the end, like, maybe make a few bucks. But at the same time, it's just, I'm thinking to myself too, like, I have some cards on there that are, if someone were to email me and say, hey, would you be interested? Like, I have this that I could possibly trade you. I'm open to it. Like, it's not just some, I don't expect to be sitting up in 3-count towers one day like this, sitting on a, starting a $1 million empire. I thought, cool, maybe make a couple bucks. And
you have some really cool, unique stuff up there too. Something that caught my eye was over in your what category was I looking at? I was looking at pretty sure I was looking at that Kurt Angle card. My PC is Kurt Angle stuff.
Oh, nice. So
I come over and I go, oh, this looks kind of attractive to me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's his 1-of-1 printing plate from the Hall of Fame speech. Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, there's certain things where it's just like, I know it's cool, like but it's also, it's also just not my thing, right? So I figured, what, that's what I mean. Like, there's something out there for everyone, right? And
absolutely.
And so I just thought, again, it's either make a few bucks, or Lord knows I've wasted a lot of it through the years on this, and but again, to say waste it is I've still
you still enjoy it and have fun with it.
And that's my part of it is I kind of, it's like I'll grow old but refuse to grow up type of deal, where I'm gonna keep doing this as long as I can. It gives me it gives
you're
me
having fun with it.
Yeah absolutely. And it's the whole thing. Like, I like, hunting for things. There's that too, like the chase of things. It's all fun. And
it's always a thrill. The chase is always what's fun. I have to be very careful not getting myself back into overly collecting again. So for the first time in my life, I'm a player collector. So
nice.
I used to be a complete set collector. So now it's just this is the coast. I love these 2019 Panini AAA cards.
Oh, they're so nice. I love that. Like, that's again, it's there's certain ones that I won't part with. And so when I'm looking at people like at this point he was Pentagon Jr. Pentagon, to me, what he's doing in America, and Phoenix, his brother, like, you can't, like, I like looking at guys like that and saying, like, who could ever keep up with them, So that's why I still go back, even though they're not using him well. Ricochet in WWE, that he blows my mind. He's the future, in my opinion.
I like him in Lucha as Prince Puma was nice. So.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So he's so that's it. I'm still loving it, and it gives me something to do. It gives me
I like how you've determined what are rookie cards. That's that's always a very touchy and hot topic in wrestling.
Yeah,
and I noticed that everything has like either an RC logo on it or the first NXT card. You put it under the category of rookie cards.
Yeah,
see, like this probably wouldn't be considered a rookie card by some people. Like, no, that 2019 is AAA's rookie card.
Yeah, well, and that's it. Because I do have his. Did I have his up yet? I do have it. I do have it, but no, and that's it. But to me, it's like I look at it as that was that is Karrion Kross's rookie,
it's got the RC logo on it. That's good enough, right?
Well, yeah. Well, that, and to me, like I said, like when you're using the industry and the gimmick, that to me that was Karrion Kross's. Killer Crosses was 2019 type of deal. Like that type of that type of stuff. So it's
you got several cards. I'm going to be interested in that one.
Oh yeah, I've got there's all kinds, man. There's all and that's it. I love it, and I love seeing what other people have, and and again, it's it's fun. It's I don't care what anyone says.
And how is business going for you? I mean, when did you actually launch? When was your first?
I launched I only launched the site in June. I saw that you got on social media as far as Twitter goes in September. Yeah. In September, yeah. Because I personally, I just never. I was a Twitter guy for a while, and then I just got so bored of it, and a buddy of mine, so I got started back up in June. I was away for a little while earlier in the year. I spent almost 2 months in New Jersey, and then once I got back, I love it. No, I'm kidding. You know what?
I say that jokingly, but I actually do like it. I dated a girl there for a few years, and nice. I almost moved there. Almost moved to the Montclair area.
Oh, see, yeah, my mom lives on the shore, so she's right by the ocean, right? So for me, who's here, like right in the middle, I'm landlocked, right? We got. It's flat as hell. There's no mountains here. There's no ocean. There's no,
it's Winnipeg.
So it's
Come
nice
on.
To go there. Yeah, it's nice to go there. But when I was there too, like I got to go to the GCW Tournament of Survival, and nice. Out of the hundreds of events I've been to, that's the most fun I have ever had. And that's why when people are crapping on the deathmatch stuff or whatnot, it's
super popular right now. I mean, are you collecting those independent cards too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I just no, again, like for me, who I also trained to wrestle. Now I'm thinking that alone on its own is difficult enough, and now you're navigating busted glass and thumbtacks and light tubes, and I'm watching them, and so I see I get where people are like, oh, it's just mindless violence, and I get the whole it's art, it's there's something about it, because some of these guys make an incredible living out of it too. Yep. And it's so
it's gained some big notoriety now. The Nick Gages like that out there, and you get a Matt Cardona goes into that world, and it's, never had a death match in his life, and comes out there and basically kills it. And then I came up in when it was sort of picking up steam again, when you had Necro Butcher and Homeless Jimmy and things like that.
Well,
Supreme and Kenny Chaos.
And Homicide.
Chaos.
A lot of those guys are still doing it, but they no, to me, again, when people want to talk shit on deathmatch wrestling, I think Gage and Cardona, that their buildup, their work of the whole world was the most beautiful work I have ever, because Nick Gage is just got the world thinking he's some mindless idiot, and Cardona is just this, cocky, So you would never think that any of these guys have the sense, but then behind the scenes, their brains were like, all right, we're going to flip everyone upside down. And they did everything from,
Gage come up and crashing, this big old, foundation, viewing or sign, whatever it was. And then to everything, I mean, it just became like this big thing. And I mean, you saw it when you saw that match, and, him winning, and then the whole ring being, Dallas, reminding me of old WCW stuff days, like that ECW stuff, even people just throwing all this shit in the ring and
garbage. Yeah. So what bummed me out was their initial, when they finally like, Cardona showed up, was the day after Tournament of Survival. And at that point, I had gone to an independent show the night before there, the Jersey Championship Wrestling, then that. And, so the guy that had sold me the ticket was just like, hey, do you want for the Sunday? And I was like, I'm about to go back home. I just spend a little more time with my family. And then I saw like his entrance where like Cardona like made everyone believe he was Mox under the thing. I was like, this whole work, like everything has been, so anyone that wants to crap on it, it's like, nope, there's still stories to be told even on that level. And so
it's good so you're a seller who's still thoroughly enjoying the products out there. Loving the world of pro wrestling. And since you've launched your site, how's your site been accepted like that? Because there's some other very well established sites out there that sell wrestling cards. It's becoming more of a competitive market out there. You're going to compete with these other online sellers, in addition to the eBayers, in addition to the Mercari people, the OfferUps, and everything, the Facebook Marketplace, all those different places. I mean, have sales been good for you?
They've been okay. Like I said, like I'm not paying the mortgage off this or anything. It's more of a, it's like a hobby, or, I guess when people are talented enough to have their Etsy or whatever sites.
Sure. Is there no investment aspects to it where you're like, okay, this is the money I'm taking from my sales and it only gets applied to X. You don't take it to spend it and pay bills. You're taking it to what? Maybe
get more stuff.
Fuel your own, more stock, your own collection.
I kind of just, run at it like both guns blazing. There's no, it's kind of just, I wake up and, what am I going to find today? And not, what am I gunning for? Occasionally, there's something.
Then that brings me to an extra question. And so, not to turn this into an episode of like Collectors from Around the World, which we do that, but we can kind of tie a little bit in here, I guess. What is the market like in your area as far as buying cards? Are there shops? Do you have shows? Where do you get your cards? Is it strictly online or in shops?
No, us here, there's shows all the time. We're doing I usually team up with a buddy of mine here that does First Row Collectibles, which he also does some wrestling cards, but he's kind of more broad, like everything. It's not, sports, music, movies, everything. So him and I usually we get booths together usually, just to kind of, make it, because especially myself being so niche, it definitely benefits me.
And absolutely.
He's a good friend helping me out, because honestly, if I was to sit there at a $500 booth at a Comic-Con all weekend, knowing, most people are probably looking at Pokemon or this or that, and that's cool. But,
or Marvel, DC stuff, because that's what most of the pop culture stuff is. So.
But exactly. So it's just like, and I'm sure a few people are going to be totally interested, but so we do, but there is that, Comic-Con is more geared towards that world. But there's a lot of card shows. There's actually probably a show every month, here.
Interesting. That's great.
So it's pretty good. And it is, some shows market very specifically to like hockey, and, those clearly I'm not, but, there's a lot of cool ones, for instance, the last one that I regretted not setting up at, I thought it was going to be all hockey, and you walk in and it was, there was Pokemon, there was
always Pokemon.
Absolutely. That's a world that,
doesn't matter. I specialize in 1968 Lakers basketball cards, and I have Pokemon.
Nice. See, I have a 6-year-old nephew, so he, I've learned a lot from him, but people are pretty open, because one thing I've noticed, at least in my time, I've never stopped caring about collecting sets. It seems nowadays so many people, even in the hockey world is a good example. one of the card shops here is owned by one of the original Winnipeg Jets, Joe Daly. And Joe's a amazing guy. He's so nice. And so we talk a lot because I still love I have boxes and boxes of complete sets. But he's, telling me how he sees guys will come in, open their packs, flip, nothing, no autograph card, no, they just throw the pack on the counter and walk out. And it's just like, well, so at this point, you're only really looking for the investment pieces, and
there are people like that. And I know that, the collectors out there, like, hey, you should be doing it for fun. If you're not having fun, why even do it? But they don't have the mindset of being an investor on the side. We're like, I'm only interested in buy to flip.
Right.
And so, and then some of us walk that fine line where we do both, kind of thing. But
right. Absolutely. But I think what did it for me too, what does it is, clearly, I'm in a ton of different Facebook groups when it comes to collecting, and someone had put something up, like, they said, show us your favorite cards, or, it was one of those type of posts, and someone had a graded card, and I can't remember what it was. It was just a base card from somewhere. And all these guys started going in on them and just ripping them apart. And I thought to myself, like, so
who are you to judge what I like?
Yeah. So it's just like, I have definitely sent regular ass cards that mean something to me. Again, a random memories Terry Funk card, from 2019.
Sure.
But it's just like, I love funk. So yeah, I'm going to pay the few bucks and it's for me. And, and I just started thinking like that. How shitty is that? Like, you're doing this for fun and guys are just dumping on you. And I'm just thinking like,
but that seems to be the case more in other sports. It seems like it doesn't seem to happen as much in wrestling. No one's giving anybody any crap for getting a Juventud Guerrero card, graded.
No, this is just cards in general, but, and it's kind of like and it goes for actual wrestling in general too. It's just trying to take the old boys club, shitty masculinity out of it, and just being like, man, we're here to have fun. Like, that's it. This is just fun to me. I'm not sitting here crunching my third quarter dividend, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, man, I
know they get on your case. Like, how dare you send a common card? You're the reason why it's so backlogged and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah. And it's just like, man, it's just like, yeah, because some people are just getting them graded for their original intended purpose to keep it forever. Like, and there's definitely stuff that I have, like, like I said, there's stuff that I will never, ever sell or trade, and its value once it's encased and even graded a 10 might be $30, and that's fine with me. It's coming with me when I go.
That's right. I'm having a coffin made of nothing but PSA cases.
See, yeah, there you go. Well, I'm in Canada. We have MNT now, so that's
okay.
Yeah. So, got to stick with the. Don't want to pay import charges, but no. Yeah, it's so I'm still doing it for the fun, and that's it. I'm not sitting here, not going hand over fist, but
but sales are going pretty well for you.
Yeah, it's going well.
When you first get started selling, it's like that. I mean, are you hitting all the different social media platforms like that to promote yourself? And
yep, yeah, and that's that's pretty much what I'm doing. And
that's how I discovered you.
That's it. Yeah, man. And I appreciate it because it's just guys like us, we're not sitting here advertising on a billboard in Times Square. We can't afford that. So this is what we have. We have word of mouth, and you know what? Honestly, I won't even forget. The first time I got an order through, and my phone went, and because I put up the site, and it was up for like a month and a half. Nothing. And suddenly, boom! I got an order. It's from Tennessee. You're like, awesome.
It's something about that. I've been selling online for 20 years, easy, since late 90s, so over 20 years. And I was on eBay in 97, so 98.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's just, I used to have a big map on the wall, and I had my daughter who's 27 now, but I would have her go up there and match the flag with or put a pin inside the countries like that. And it's just so interesting to see all the different countries that you end up shipping to. And like, it took me forever before I actually shipped them to China. I shipped one package in my whole life to Russia. It was just like, this is so cool. There's other collectors all over the world who are interested in what I have to sell.
Yeah. And so that's kind of the fun of it. And it's just, it's kind of just one of those things where I don't care what people buy. If they're purchased on the site is just a $4 card that's on there, that's awesome. I don't care. It's just, it's getting out there, right? So it's just like, I know, I have cards on the sites that are $4. I have cards that are, listed at 600, right? And again, talking about CM Punk, that's the most expensive card I have on the site.
Saw that.
I was never actually a CM Punk fan, which is, you'd think ironic growing up, a wrestling fan who was in the punk hardcore and metal scene. You'd think I'd love the guy. He's actually doing way more for me right now in AEW. This whole like smiley, happy dude is, I'm loving. There's something about it to me as I get older. That's what I didn't like that old CM Punk. He just seemed like he was just, snot-headed, nose up, but this guy suddenly comes back and it seems like he's actually trying to, help the business and he's actually having fun and he's not just here to collect a paycheck. And suddenly I start resonating with that.
Yeah.
So now
he's having fun doing what he loves to do. Exactly. Just like you're having fun doing what you love to do.
Yep. Yeah. Because, and maybe I'm just so stoked because I don't have to watch people chanting CM Punk at times that it doesn't make sense to anymore. That one's nice. But stuff like that. But it's just like, I know other people put a way higher value on him, and plus, you go online, look at what things of his have sold for and this and that.
I was going to ask you, so where do you come up with your pricing? Like, how do you determine it? Is there a lot of work involved in you coming up with your pricing, a lot of research?
Yes, a lot of them. A lot of them is just, checking sold sales, checking current listings, trying to see how long things have been listed at what price, and because I think a lot of people make a mistake. And, I've seen people do this in every, because again, I've been selling on eBay as well since probably about, 2000, and all sorts of stuff, not
same. I used to sell specifically non-sport stuff across the board.
Right. And so, and guys will say, I'll send someone an offer and it's just like, yeah, well, look, this one's on eBay for this much. And it's just like,
it's been sitting there, if it's been recycled for like 90 days so far, never sold.
Yeah. I could put a for sale sign on my car and say it's 500,000 and doesn't mean
if you watch the episode, I actually interviewed the guy who's at the $500,000 Jericho card up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I interviewed him and it was an interesting interview. It's like that. I expected someone who was going to be very full of themselves, all about them. And there's a little bit of aspect in that in everybody who's selling a high-end card like that, because you're trying to make the most out of what you have. Right. But he had a very logical explanation for why he was listing that card for what it was, even though it's been up there for months now with a lot of views, a lot of watchers, but no one's pulled the trigger paying $500,000 for CML Jericho card. But no one else has a 9.5 Beckett. That's the highest grade there is. And he's got it. So I'm sure if someone offered him 100,000, he would jump all over that. But everybody has their own pricing mechanisms. And there's a guy on there, like put it in case in point. I recently found, not recently, last year, I found an 82 Cosmos Japan Hulk Hogan card that I didn't even know I had in storage. I had the whole set. Right. And so I sent it into PSA. Well, only reason why I sent to PSA is because I was on eBay and I saw one sell for $8,600, $8,300, a PSA 6. And I go, mine's easily a 6. Got to be at least maybe a 7 or 8, maybe. Right. And then I saw someone else who had one, and he's asking $100,000 for a PSA 10.
Oh.
And he was clear in his listing saying that, this is the highest grade, part of my personal collection. Basically, if you want it more than me, here's my price.
Right.
So he's being honest about it,
Oh, I can appreciate that.
Trust that. If I came back and I got a PSA 10 on that Hogan card, I'd probably do the same thing. Here, mine's $100,000, man. Make me an offer.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was saying earlier, right? So it's, everything is for sale, just some things less for sale than others, right? So that's what I mean. It's just, you can put it up for whatever price you want. And someone, and that's part of it too. When, someone will say to, I've heard someone say, I'll find something for my personal collection and I need it and I get it. And someone's like, well, you overpaid for that. And I was like, did I? Because it's worth that to me.
It's worth that to me.
Yeah. There's no MRSP on,
That's why they always say, man, one man's trash, another man's treasure, man.
Yep.
That's how it's looked.
and that's it. And that's where I'm at on it. So it's just, I'm gonna keep doing it this way.
So you're still funneling an inventory. You're buying stuff at the shows?
Oh, yeah.
Are you buying stuff online? You're cracking boxes?
All over the place. Yeah. I'm just, like I said, still keeping myself amused and having fun with this. And at the same time, hopefully making, like I said, I you get I'm just trying to even think of some of the, like I said, like even when I did pull that CM Punk, I knew what I had type of deal. Right. And there was still like an excitement of like,
I got a low numbered, high end card
and low number. And on top of that, like, it's just either, so I put it, like I said, like I look at what other CM Punk cards of like that nature have gone for. So it's like, okay, I'll put it up for this much. And it's like, maybe it'll make a few bucks that I can go and get more stuff for, or,
sure.
I can make a massive trade for something maybe, or something, it's, I'm open to all over. It's just, the whole point is, there's definitely the quote unquote, as much as I'm not a big fan of the term, but like the hustle aspect where it's just, I'm not talking, like the guys out in, on the streets of New York trying to get you to buy their mixtape, not that type of hustle, but like it does when you're sitting here like, oh, I got to list 100 cards, no problem. Then you're like, wait, now I'm gonna have to take 100 pictures, and I'm gonna have to take, I'm gonna have to do.
But you know what? You gotta do the hustle if you want to make the dime.
Well, and that's where I'm at, so it's just I try not to look at it like as a job, but there's a so it's not a job though. It's it's like there's a work aspect to it,
but you have fun doing it though. It's like
exactly.
I've got a bunch of stuff sitting behind this green screens like that I'm going through for tomorrow's and Saturday's virtual con. Right. By the time this comes out, it'll already have happened. But right. So I'm going through stuff, and I'm enjoying going through it. Like when I have it right here, I'm enjoying going through it. Going, I remember this. I mean, I got a small stack of stuff. I kind of going through right here. Some 1988 Wonderama. Stuff nice. Like that, and just finding some random things in here. It's like that. Some TNA, promo cards, or plastic cards, nice. old video game cards.
Nice.
There's a Luna one right there.
Oh, nice. I literally just finished watching that episode of Dark Side before hopping on here.
And found a promo card from Action Pack.
Oh, nice. Oh, I have that. Yes, I do have that guy.
So, found that. Apparently back then I had it for $5, so.
Oh, nice.
It's a VHS insert only cards that very few people know about. So, but just going through stuff, and I'm kind of writing a list together. It's like that, getting all going. I found a whole bunch of the 24 karat gold cards.
Oh, nice.
Those are nice. And then I'm going to go on. I don't know pricing. It's been a long time, so I'm going on eBay, looking at stuff, going, holy crap, that's worth this or worth that. So I'll put it up there for offer. I don't know, but yeah, so going through inventory is always fun a little bit when you can go through and kind of nostalgia reasons, stuff like that. But and then the other night we just cracked open 2 boxes of the new Topps Chrome. Yeah, and it was so fun to just like, pulled it a Mandy Rose number 25, autograph. It's kind of cool. And nice. It's like I don't care about that card, but someone does out there. But it was just fun to have it. And now like I sleeved it, top loaded it, and ready to get rid of it.
Nice. Yeah, I cracked one today. Cracked the first one today, and they're nice. They're nice cards. Like
you get anything nice?
What's that?
You pull anything nice?
Honestly, it was a bit of a dud of a box, but same as you though. I did Io Shirai autograph, and same idea. Like nice card, but not for me. And so that's kind of. But it's just that awesome feeling of pulling. Like I just love pulling packs, right?
Flipping packs is great. It's just fun. I know from an investment standpoint, it's almost the equivalent of buying a new car. It's just like it depreciates as soon as you open it, kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Unless you hit that one thing where it's like, oh, they don't make your car no more, so it's going to go up in value.
Well, and that's it. But like even again, like I was saying, like for me who collects them, like the base set cards in this one, like in these ones, they're nice. They're
very beautiful looking.
Yeah, they make a nice product. Topps kills it in the WWE department. They they're the fully loaded, the one card.
That was a great card.
Yeah. And they're nice. And everything is a nice hit.
I had memories of the old Fleer product. It's like that, getting some of those relics out of Fleer.
Yeah.
Fleer. And so it kind of reminded me of that. It was just something different other than ring mats and t-shirts. It was like, other cool stuff.
Well, so I'm really excited to see with Upper Deck putting out the AEW stuff, which now just got bumped back to December.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see with what they're going to do, what they're
now. Me in all my years, maybe I'm not sure for you, but I have never experienced the buzz level of a product coming out for wrestling as I have with AEW stuff.
Nope, not at all. You're right.
Not even during the Attitude Era when like Comic Image got the Superstars that came out, or WCW was pumping out from Tops like that. It was fun and it was cool, but that was a high point for wrestling. I mean, as far as popularity goes, that was a high point. But I don't recall the buzz like it is for this AEW product.
No, not at all. But I think it's because it's the first time that a brand new product is getting a launch. When like when we were younger, it was the sets, right? And then it'd be like, oh, here's this hologram. That's the best thing you can get. Yeah. And now it's just like, they're gonna send you, Chris Jericho's autographed credit card. Like it's you get the weirdest shit. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like that's.
Do you think it also has a lot to do with having a company like AEW? And Upper Deck really helping promote it, but AEW, I don't recall ever seeing a product for WWE ever being advertised on TV.
No, never.
But they have for AEW for trading cards.
I think the bonus of having, when WWF was, when Vince was building it, right? He wanted to be very professional about things or whatever. And AEW is just a goddamn kid who loves wrestling, whose dad is loaded and sees his vision, right? So he's going at it as a total mark, and it's amazing. That's what I'm loving about AEW is people like wrestlers basically, and up to the cons, like basically we're actually wrestling fans too. We're not just about ourselves and our paychecks. Like we're just fans of everything. So he's going to go big and go ridiculous as any of us. Do you think that kind of passion and then putting together stuff and advertising on TV, do you think it's going to draw, in your personal opinion, do you think it's going to draw new fans to collecting cards? Yes, I honestly think it will, because now you have this, this group of people that are just going to eat up everything AEW, and which is great. Like I love it. Like
many of them probably never collected cards before.
No, exactly. But, if, this is available from AEW, let's take a look. Let's buy it. Let's see, and hopefully they like it. And then hopefully now they start wondering like, well, what else is out there, and, that's how it goes. And some may not, some may just get their AEW cards and be happy, but hopefully it goes beyond that, because I get excited, like I said, Tony Khan has a way of doing things that he knows he's doing it because he's a wrestling fan, right? So it's just like what he kind of goes,
But sometimes that could backfire on you. Sometimes,
absolutely.
I mean, we've seen other fans who knew nothing about wrestling, but were just fans,
right?
Come in and try to start something and fail miserably.
Yep. Absolutely.
But apparently, when you got a lot of money behind you, it's like that. You can kind of afford a couple of failures at play.
Oh, exactly. I mean, honestly, I'm happy that I don't know, what their actual financial numbers and this and that are. I honestly think like, as much as the internet is awesome, like it really has killed, like imagine CM Punk having come out without the internet clamoring about him for weeks, like
he just showed up out of nowhere.
Showed up, right? And
that's why it's so far and few between when a Bischoff shows up on WWE or even it's far and few between, man. It doesn't happen often.
Well, no, and it's now though, like everyone just knows when someone's coming, and it's
like nobody knew the Hardy Boys were showing up at WrestleMania. I just
right.
That was fantastic. Like, no way, it can't be happening. It's like, so when one finally gets by you, it's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, but again, like when Edge was coming back there to
that was another one.
Yeah, but it was just like, okay, dude, like you haven't done anything in years, and now you're putting up pictures of your wrestling boots and this and that, and it's like
there's no element of surprise, man.
No, we were still super happy. Like I was happy, I just wasn't surprised. And I'm like, I missed that surprise. But it's so I find like AEW still does try their best, and their repackaging of the WWE guys that they get, so I'm excited because they make their product really exciting. So you got
a bunch of guys that are helping them out with like the Young Bucks and the Cody Rhodes,
Yeah.
who they understand. I think they understand collectability. I think they understand that. So when they're putting out limited edition things and stuff like that, they kind of know how to do it right.
Right. So I'm excited because I really think there's going to be some exciting stuff in there.
Are you buying a lot of that product?
As much as I can. It's this time of the year. This is when I tell my wife it's she's really expensive in the fourth quarter because our anniversary is November 1st.
You got anniversary, you got birthdays, you got Christmas, you got
so she checks off 3 boxes in a month that are not cheap, and but so I always tell her fourth quarter her just drives me mental. But no, it's yeah, as much as I can, honestly, because I think it's going to be hot, hot seller.
I'm just trying to determine. I pre-ordered a case,
right?
And I'm trying to determine how much of it I want to actually put aside and just kind of sit on for a while.
Yeah, see, and it's tough.
It's so hard for me.
It's and to me though, that's part of the excitement of it. It's like there's because again too, like I love gambling, man. So it's like to me that's on top of it. Like there's a gamble involved, right? Am I gonna, like I said, like I got that Chrome box today, and as far as boxes in my life go, it was down there.
So how soon will that product hit your website?
Already, the stuff from there already has. I just
really?
Today was just a day that I was actually already going to do an update, and it just so happened like I went out this morning, did some stuff, and I was just like, oh well, there it is. Let's give her a whirl, And so I was already had my stuff out to update, and I was just like, well, I'm just gonna add a couple more, I guess. That's it.
So are your site is broken down into different categories, and you have like rookies, and you have relics, and you have autographs and legends and graded. Are you going to be delving into actual straight up singles, or are you just sticking with higher end stuff?
I'm going to. Like I said, that's where it starts. I figure I'm gonna put up the stuff that's really gonna catch some eyes, get some people hopefully excited, and as it goes, then comes the pile of thousands and thousands of singles. So
and you're talking about singles encompassing like all WWE products, things like that.
Oh yeah,
and we're talking major releases, nothing like because one of the bigger games in town when it comes to websites and single sites is Husker Half. I mean, he's been around forever and a half. I mean, he's
right.
And his site's soon to be relaunched here pretty soon with all new stuff and a new layout and all stuff like that. I mean, nice. But there's plenty of room for everybody out there to sell stuff. Yeah. So are you doing any kind of like off the beaten path type of cards, or straight up more mainstream stuff?
Oh, like everything. Like I have, there's going to be your WWE, WWF, your WCW. I've got a whole bunch of Japanese to go up. I have indies. I've got a bunch of stuff to go. So like I said, I was just starting with the more, I guess you could say the more heavy hitters. And then as time goes on over the next couple of months, as I'm going through, because I really want there to be something for everyone.
Sure.
Because, I don't want to omit any, I don't want to admit, like I say, I love all wrestling. I don't want to divide anything. So it's just like, I want people to come on and be able to say like, yeah, I can get, the big ones, WWE, TNA, whatever, Ring of Honor, this or that, but it's also like the really small, the really small guys, like whatever I can get my hands on. It's, I love it. Like, I just want everyone to be as stoked as I am on this. And that's pretty much where it comes from.
You ever buy just lots and come across something that just like,
oh yeah,
what the hell is this? I've never seen this before.
Yeah. Oh geez. Yeah, no, I just pulled I like I said, like I got a lot a while back, and there's wrestling cards going all the way back to 1886. Like yeah, so it's like there's some really fun stuff, and that like I've only put up a fraction of that too. So
where do you get information about that kind of stuff?
People just kind of started.
Now, where do you get information about wrestling cards you don't know about?
Oh, what did I don't know about? The Google, man. There's
I'm disappointed in your answer, sir.
No. Oh, well, you didn't prime me. You didn't prime me. Oh,
it's cool,
well,
man. It's like having a big convention. Like for years, there's in Southern California, there was a show. There is a show out there called Frank and Son Collectible Show. It's been there for 25, 30 years.
right.
And it's basically, it was my backyard all those years. And I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing about it until like one day I went to Comic-Con San Diego, like my first of 24 straight years I went. And then I just like, there's a big show, 60,000 square foot warehouse, open every Wednesday and Saturday, free admission, free parking every day. I mean, I didn't know about this. Oh, you got to go check it out. Had no idea.
Yeah.
So no offense taken.
No, yeah, no, it is, yeah, no,
but if you come across stuff, just so you know, like you and everybody else on this planet and everybody else who collects wrestling cards, if you come across something that you have in your collection, in your inventory, that you have information about and you don't find it on WTC, please contact us. Send us a contact us form, email at wrestlingtradingcards@gmail.com and say, hey, I have this card. Here's the image of it. It's from this year. I mean, all information, the better. Because when we archive everything, it makes it very easy for collectors to know what they have or what they're missing. It also helps because learning that PSA and Beckett and other grading companies are using our website to authenticate cards.
That's awesome.
So I've heard over the years that cards are being rejected as we're not grading this because we have no information about it other than people who are selling it. That's not authenticating something like that. But we've established ourselves now for almost 20 years of being like the place to go to find what you have, and what you don't have.
Right. Yeah. That's honestly for this hobby, that's such because you can go anywhere to find out about your hockey cards, all that. Sure. But to find, there's so little information on, and there has been a lot through the years that I've come across that I know nothing about, and that still
it happens all the time too. People don't know WTC, even though it's been there for next year, be 20 years for 20 years. I posted on Twitter today, the day we recorded this, a pretty hard to come by Savage. I showed you that Savage VHS tape Topps cards like that. And someone goes, yeah, I just bought it recently. It's so funny you posted about that. And then I bought it recently and I had a heck of a time finding information about it. And I go, do you know who we are?
Yeah.
Have you seen it? I sent him a link right to the checklist. He goes, yeah, I realized that afterwards. I'm so sorry. But it's just amazing that, people sometimes forget, like they go to Google because they forget that's where they're going to find things. And, we used to be pretty high, number one, their algorithms like that. So, working our way to get back up there again. But you find information, please absolutely send it our way.
Well, and that, again, like just having WTC, like it's such a, it's important. Like it's because we don't have much, right? It's as we try to build this thing, it's you don't find, sure, current, 2020.
You're gonna go to Beckett and find all the mainstays, stuff like that, or trading card database will have some stuff, but there's a lot of smaller independent things, what I call bootlegs and knockoffs like that, but they got to be kind of archived because they exist, even though they're not licensed material, they still exist.
Well, and exactly it. And that's to broaden the whole thing, right?
And it's not just domestic stuff too. It's not talking about North America. There's all, like you said, there's a whole slew of stuff in Japan. There's a whole bunch of stuff in Mexico. There's a whole bunch of stuff in Europe that a lot of us don't even know about. And it's important to get that information and gather it and put it in some place that people can actually find out about it.
Exactly.
So, so it's interesting to hear perspective about how you start your business and as a relatively new guy. And I've already added your site onto our site for the links page. So as a resource for people to go to buy cards. I mean, there's a lot of places you can go to. Obviously, eBay is like the biggest place people go to for looking for stuff. But if you really like, hey, you know what? I want to go to a place exclusively about wrestling cards. We try to archive all information on there. And, it's just important to have it all there. Make it easy as possible for collectors to find what they're looking for.
Exactly. And that's super appreciated.
It's just something we've been doing for a long time.
Doing God's work out there.
So everybody who's watching this, go give 3 Count Cards a look over. It's like that. They're just starting to really build the inventory. There's a lot of great, cool, some higher end stuff, a little bit something for everybody. I went on there. We kind of just went through some stuff, found some newer stuff, some some kick-ass vintage stuff on there, memorabilia, autographs, some great rookie stuff. If you're looking for some rookie stuff, there's some good stuff there. And it looked to me as I was doing the conversion rate a little bit on some things, going, it's very fairly priced. Like it's not, you're not price gouging anything really to anybody.
No, not looking to do that.
Yeah.
No, I'd like people to keep coming back. You know, that's the goal.
Yeah, maybe you and I will talk off air. I'm interested in that one-on-one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then,
yes,
yeah, so, you know, give them a look over, tell everybody where they can find you online. I mean, I'm imagining everything's going to be housed on your website, but
yeah.
Where can they find you?
Yeah, it's just www.3countcards.com. And then you can find us Instagram. It's 3 Count Wrestling Cards. Same, actually, Facebook is 3 Count Cards. I keep on forgetting which ones made me use wrestling and which. But
well, I know going from your website that all the links are right there on the bottom of your page. Yep, on every page.
Are. Yeah, I have them there too. So if yeah, get at me anytime. You have any questions ever, you know, trade requests, anything like that, you can also shoot me an email. You know, what's the worst that I could say? And you're buying as well from people. Like someone has a collection they want to sell. Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm always, it's a revolving door around here. Awesome. Like I'm just as happy getting as I am giving. You know, it's yeah, it's like I said, it's a labor of love type of thing. It's and I get that part. I get that aspect. 100%. So, well, it's cool, man. I do appreciate your time. I don't even know what the time difference is for you. It's 7:10 my time. It is 9:10 my time. Okay, so a 2-hour difference. I'm in Arizona. We don't change time. So. Oh, nice. But I appreciate you spending some time talking about your store, about your passion, about the hobby. It's always nice to hear from other collectors, sellers, how they do things, how they do their business, what they have to offer. And I hope that people come and check you out. Well, and I appreciate you promoting this. This is, like I said, you're doing great work with this, and I'm very thankful for everybody. Give this guy a follow. I mean, Twitter seems to be like the number one hot spot for wrestling card collectors. Seems like it. More than every place else. I mean, there's groups, Facebook groups and such, but Twitter seems to be the hot spot. And the Discord channel that we created has actually been picking up for a while now too. So there's a lot of new Discord members on there. Nothing but wrestling cards on there. That's awesome. And then, so definitely, guys, give this guy a follow. Check out his store. Boost up those numbers. I mean, what do we got? I mean, you're like, you got to be higher than that, man. This guy's got 10 followers on Twitter. Let's get this guy to like 500. Come on, let's get him to 500 easy. Oh, shouldn't be a problem. No, that would be that would make my day. Okay, you know what? Let's okay, I'm overshooting a little bit. I like to overshoot. So let's just go to 100. Let's get this guy to 100 just like that. You know, start with 100. Start with 100 just like that. But yeah, I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate your time. Well, thank you so much. And I guess with that, folks, we are. You know what? Before we even do that, before we run out, I get my catchphrase there. We're out. But for this episode, please subscribe, like, share, comment, bitch, complain, whatever you want to do. Just engage. Just talk about cards. Just share the passion. Share it with everybody out there. Let everybody know that wrestling cards are such a cool thing, whether it be from an investment standpoint, nostalgia reasons. Just have fun with it. And you know what? Don't bitch and complain about rookie cards. Just buy them all. Oh yeah. So, and with that, now I say we are out.